In other big news this Monday, Yahoo chief executive Marissa Mayer is making a bold move to remake the aging internet giant today. The company is expected to announce that it will buy the social blogging tool Tumblr for $1.1 billion cash. Here to help us understand what Tumblr represents strategically for Yahoo is Noah Brier, founder of advertising startup Percolate. Noah, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
We got you on short notice. It's great.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so Tumblr is a lot like Facebook, a lot like Twitter in the sense that people are creating content, sharing links, blogs, photos, etc. But strategically for Yahoo, what does it represent that they're getting this asset?
Sure, yeah. I mean, Tumblr is one of 6 or 7 global social platforms that exist. For Yahoo to continue to compete, it's got to be able to move into this world of social, and that's what Tumblr is.
Why does it need to move into social?
Well, when you think about where consumer attention is moving first, it's there, right? People are spending more and more time in these spaces like Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr. The number of minutes is unbelievable. And what the expectation is there is these streams of content. They never stop. The sort of idea that you pull to refresh and there's always something new. You need a trove of content that's being produced by people and professionals. And for Yahoo to really succeed in this new world, that's what they've got to have.
It is interesting you mentioned the stream because like Twitter, like Facebook, Tumblr, you create your own content, but you also follow others. And so that stream of content goes past you in a news feed. And it's interesting that both Facebook and Twitter, I think, had problems with an advertising business in the early days, but they've discovered that feed ads do work. They're making money this way, aren't they?
Yeah, and they've really sort of made that transition, and they're going kind of whole hog into this idea of making the content the ad. And that is really, really working for them. And the idea that you can now take this content, if you're Yahoo, and potentially put it outside of just the Tumblr dashboard and take the content that brands are producing and really give it the scale that Yahoo already has creates an interesting model that the Facebooks and the Twitters don't necessarily have.
Really? Why is that? What makes Tumblr special in that way?
Well, what's interesting about Tumblr, what's unique about Tumblr is that they are both a sort of dashboard platform, right? They're a place where people and brands are creating content and consuming it in the stream, but they're also the sort of front end. And so if you go to...
So it represents, it's almost people are using it as their website.
People are also using it as their website. And so you've got this sort of
kind of like a Facebook page in some ways.
Kind of like a Facebook page, but a lot more customizable, a lot more personalizable. And interestingly, I think about the distinction between Tumblr and the Facebooks and the Twitter is that Facebook and Twitter, they put their brand first. It's facebook.com/brand. On Tumblr, it's brand.tumblr.com.
Okay. Now, let's talk a little bit about Percolate. What makes you guys interesting is you really specialize when it comes to feed advertising. It's a new challenge for advertisers to create the kind of ads that are going to work in the stream. What does work?
Well, what's interesting about these platforms and what's unique about social for brands is that it's a place where you have to be creating organic content, not just sort of ads, right? You don't just buy boxes in social,
It's not a banner ad, you actually have to create something people want to share.
Right, and so you're creating content all the time organically, and then you're taking the best bits of that content and you're paying to promote it. When Tumblr introduced advertising, David Karp got on stage at the Ad Age conference and he said, you've seen ads on Tumblr, it's the post, right? And so that's the sort of fundamental switch that we're seeing happening is that brands are becoming content creators, becoming real-time content creators, just like you and I. They're a part of that stream. They're creating organic content, and then the real revenue model that Facebook and Twitter and Tumblr have started to see is that brands will then pay to promote that and bring it to a broader audience.
Now, Tumblr has started with this, like you mentioned, but it's still a very small business for them. What's it going to take to make it much larger? What can Yahoo do to make that business much larger?
Well, I mean, I think they're on their way, and obviously Yahoo has a lot of experience in running an advertising sales practice, right? And I think if you look at Facebook and Twitter, and you talked a little about the sort of challenges they went through early on in kind of finding their models, I think a part of it is also just instituting that culture of sales and being able to sort of go out and help brands understand the value there. The other big piece for any of these social platforms, as I mentioned, is that you've also just got to get them on there creating content organically, because they've already got to exist on the platform if they're going to become an advertiser. So, Yahoo has a lot of reach in touching a lot of brands, and they can help bring those brands onto the platform.
10 seconds, one last question. Mobile. Feed ads actually are really great for mobile, aren't they? So this is also a benefit for Yahoo.
Yeah, Yeah, for sure. I think, everybody's looking for the silver bullet ad format in mobile, and it turns out that it's just content, right? And Twitter and Facebook and Tumblr are already seeing this.
Small screen size, the feed actually, that's
Right.
what's going through your screen
It's
anyway.
very natural.
So, ads that happen right there work out. Noah Brier from Percolate, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for
Great
having me.
insight.